All right, let's get into it. So Medicaid is Medicaid debt has been a challenge for many folks who find themselves having to settle the affairs of someone's estate when they're in probate. What's up? That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm Courtney Rollins with the Life in Transitions Experts podcast, YouTube channel, a Facebook group. I'm the moderator, operator, and founder there. And I call myself a Life in Transitions property specialist. When someone's going through some of the biggest challenges or transitions in their life, I try to provide as many solutions or options for their property, whether they're trying to keep it for themselves, stabilize it, live in it, or list it, or even have a quick, convenient cash sale. Try to put as many options in front of them based on what their situation is. And one of the niches that I find myself digging in deep and trying to be or share as much as I can is in the probate space. And so this is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about 10 things you need to know about Medicaid debt in probate. Quite often, when I'm talking to someone who's the executor or the administrator, I'm always encouraging them to attempt to negotiate down the debt. And sometimes it's even forgiven. And there have been cases where I've worked with folks before and have actually had Medicaid actually taken completely off, $280,000 taken off. That occurs in every situation, but you don't know until you ask. All right. And you'll see one of the tips almost always going to be seeking some legal professional advice. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not offering legal or financial advice here. I'm sharing my experience, and hopefully it's helpful to you. And I see again my number one fan up here, beautiful lady. What's up, Mama? How you doing? So you all, it's awesome to have a mother who supports you in any stage of your spacing life. So I really appreciate you. And yeah, and you can also support me. Also, you don't have to be my mom to support me. So definitely appreciate you not only supporting me, but when you support this channel, you're supporting getting information out that's hopefully helpful to folks and hopefully making the probate process easier, making the estate process easier, making dealing with a property much smoother and easier. All right. So number one is understanding what the Medicaid program is, understanding who was eligible, what are the coverage benefits, what's the billing procedures. This will help you navigate and negotiate the process more effectively, particularly if you are dealing with someone who is deceased and trying to deal with the debt. Take a look at the actual bill. Review the details, the breakdown, any of the services rendered, dates of service. There may be some things that you can challenge on there, amounts charged. People make mistakes all the time, so carefully review for any discrepancies or errors that could be grounds for negotiation. So take a look at that. All right. You also need to gather any relevant financial information. This is number three. Number three, financial information of the deceased person's estate and understanding where the priority of Medicaid comes in. It is pretty high on the list of things that need to be paid, but if the estate doesn't have it, it doesn't have it. And so you need to understand all the different assets and properties and things that are within the estate that you can use, and some things that you're not required to use to help reduce the settlement or address the reduce the settlement amount or address the settlement amount. All right. Yeah, and of course, have conversations. Contact the Medicaid agency that's in charge of handling this information. One of the tips is going to be to constantly have communication open. So request to speak to a representative that can be that's responsible for the billing. This is going to allow you to explore any of the options. This is something they deal with all the time. Speak with respect and yeah, and of course uh, make sure that you're receiving respect as well. But you need to be able to explore your options, and this is a negotiation. So you still handle yourself accordingly. Also, explain any circumstances, any of the situation that's taking place. You may want to write it out so that you can have be able to communicate it clearly. Any extenuating circumstances that may impact the ability to pay for the full amount needs to be addressed and communicating openly. And I believe that's why it's so important having a legal and professional advisor so that you can know what points you might want to or highlight when you're speaking to the person's estate. Of course, you have to speak honestly, especially if you are, I mean, you should do that anyways, but as the personal representative, you do have a fiduciary responsibility. So you want to make sure that you understand that responsibility and execute it properly. And of course, you can always propose a settlement. I would definitely want to hear what they propose, but you can always propose, hey, this is what I'm able or we're willing to pay through the estate. This is what we're able to pay. This is what we can pay as a lump sum or installments. Or we're wondering. I would always ask them, what does it look like unforgiving this or writing this off? Um, you never know unless you ask, right? Number seven is like underlying all these again, seek legal advice. If you need support, if you need a legal counseling, you can reach out to me and I will connect you with some of the best legal um, attorneys and professionals in North Carolina, in Durham County specifically. And if you are outside of those areas, I have I'm connected to a network of nationwide vetted estate professionals. So I'm sure I can put you in the right hands or work to get you in the right hands. All right. And every time you have conversation, make sure you document it. Document all the communication. Sit there with a pad and take clear notes. That'll help you have a clear mind as well, which is so important in negotiation. You need a blank slate. Don't come in with any assumptions. I mean, we are emotional beings and we make decisions emotionally and rationalize them with our brain, but taking notes will help slow that down and help create a pause that hopefully will help you um, make some really informed decisions and communicate, as well as documenting is so important in case you need uh, uh, just really some substantial evidence or of what was said so that you can know what the next steps are or have some support of recognizing where you are in the process. You also just put it on your calendar, have some system that you're following up routinely, following up regularly so you can understand how the terms are being implemented, were they implemented correctly, and be having persistent communication may serve in your favor for a favorable resolution. So it's very important. You might even build a relationship with the folks you're speaking to, which is always important. And um, you know, people are more willing to have creative solutions to folks that they have relationships with. So that's very important. And you may want to consider some type of mediation or arbitration. There's agencies uh, that might have some alternative uh, resolution methods, so that you guys can have hopefully a mutually acceptable agreement. And you may want to reach out to someone, and hopefully it doesn't necessarily have to get that far, but if it does, at least you know that's one of the options that can help you reduce Medicaid. This is again like all my content, almost all my content is situations where I'm talking to people. I just got off the phone with someone 2 days ago talking about this, and I promised that I would look it up and have more conversation about Medicaid in the states, and found some very interesting things, and hopefully he finds it helpful. And if you need any support in the probate process, estate planning process, particularly when it deals with the non-legal side or property, reach out to me. I'm the hub in the wheel right here, and can support you with many things besides what's in the will. But these are some of the most common things that come up that hopefully can help make your life a lot easier and smoother. All right, this is Courtney Rollins with the Life in Transitions Experts Podcast, LITE. You let your light shine. Cheers.